I'm really excited to get to learn how to make this recipe today.
Well, I'm really excited too to be able to show it to you. It's a mashed potato crust pizza. Do you remember that casserole that we made from the Casserole Queen's cookbook? How good that was. We get emails like that, like we had that and it was flip-flopping awesome.
Anything that'll save time,
Yeah.
especially on a weeknight. If one of us doesn't plan what we're gonna have that week, do the grocery shopping, all that kind of thing, it's not gonna happen.
I'm gonna work on the mashed potato crust and I'll walk you through it as we're working.
Okay.
What I'm gonna have you do is slice up our mushrooms. These are baby portobellos. I'm gonna start on the mashed potatoes. Now what we're trying to do here is get some of the stickiness out of it so that it'll cook a little easier. So what I use is probably about a cup of flour in here, and then I'm gonna get dirty. You know, food transports you through time and space and emotionally, and I think there's so much tied into food that there's no way to separate from it.
So Sandy, while you're doing that,
Sure.
you have not always been a chef, right?
No,
Tell
no.
me about life before and after.
The process of starting a casserole company, I think I reflected a lot on my history and the history of the women within my life. You know, my grandmother was an amazing cook, but she was up at 4 o'clock in the morning making homemade biscuits, homemade gravy, all that for my grandfather to have before he went off to work. It was just what she did, and it was expected at that time.
I'll look back just at my parents, and my dad actually did most of the cooking growing up. That was probably pretty unusual then, but again, as things evolve to today, that's definitely more commonplace, accepted, all of those things. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's about busy people and busy families. Growing up, we were around the dinner table most nights. I know that's not really the case as much today because of busy families and people are much busier. So the around the table doesn't really happen as much, but for me, it's pretty similar to how I grew up, so.
Now I'm taking the olive oil and I'm going to lightly coat the pan that we're gonna put the potato crust in. And what this does basically is, one, it helps it to not stick, and two, it helps it to crisp up.
Okay.
These two things can go in at the same time. So it's a time saver. Just prep it all and it cooks.
Food and family, it's about comfort and security and belonging and love.
Food is love, love is food, and they're the same. I think when it's made with love, everybody's gonna know that it was, because you're making it from your heart, you're serving it to the people you love. You just feel it from the second you walk in the door.
My mom definitely has some special dishes that whenever I come home, she manages to put together. So that's always nice because they remind me of home.
All we're gonna do is saute this very quickly. Little saute pan, just a little olive oil, cook that for about a minute. Add the spinach. It's enough to be able to put over the top of the pizza, add a little crunch, add some green, and it's really nice. Yeah. So we will set this aside and this will go on top.
Okay. You know, we were talking about how women's roles have really changed kind of as how time has gone by. So it used to be women didn't even work outside the home.
3 meals on the table, no doubt, kids were clean, house was clean, you were perfect. Husband came home and life was wonderful.
Right.
That doesn't feel realistic in this day and age. I knew a lady who wasn't allowed to wear pants. Like, she was not allowed, which is so weird, not allowed. Like, that wouldn't even cross our minds really today. But as they started moving into the workplace, it really changed the face of what women in general could do. I think the crust is ready. I'll grab that out of there.
And the mushrooms
And
too?
the mushrooms too. Look, it's all
Okay,
out.
yum.
What I'm gonna do is start kind of putting this all together. Mushrooms, the spinach, these really awesome little mini pepperonis. They're so good. And you get more per bite, which I really like, and some cheese. We're just gonna grab a bunch and go to town. I'm just gonna sprinkle. Look how cute, they're the mini ones. I use 1.5 cups, 2 cups on the top because I like it gooey. Delicious. And then this whole thing is gonna go back in the oven. Casserole's a great dish for families. It was a time saver, it was healthy, you could serve a bunch of people on it. I got into a restaurant that had a head chef that was a woman, and she was so spunky and loved us and really just gave us all the encouragement. I really look at her as my mentor, and still is to this day. I look at her as inspiration constantly. I'm gonna put this in the oven.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Yeah, we need to eat. We've been cooking long enough, don't you think? So, first on the menu today, we have a mashed potato pizza. I was really trying to come up with something that was super kid friendly and also that you could really like go into your pantry. Like the night before, maybe you had some mashed potatoes. For families, it can really feed a lot of people for a low amount of money. All right, here we go.
I think about some of the greatest experiences I've had in my life, whether it's my first date with my wife or whether it's a family vacation, and it all really centers around food.
Have that opportunity to learn even more about each other in a very small kitchen where, you know, we have to balance the cooking of the mushrooms and the mixing of the spices and you know, the broiling of the steak or whatever we're making. You know, we're creating a bit of a dance in the kitchen together. And it's not necessarily the meat, it's the story behind it.
Food is fun. Like, I don't even care if I eat it. I just want to see that they're all smiling and I'm like, score, like I totally did great.
So the ERGs are employee resource groups and come in all different shapes and sizes.
When I think about Women Our Way, it's really about that leadership development of women in our company. And again, it's not just women. We have men that are involved too, because we need men's support to be able to propel women forward in the company.
Given my family situation, having 2 young daughters, I was really intrigued by Women Our Way, and knowing that we're trying to further women in leadership roles, help people learn to network better. To me, I would love to be able to learn more about that, to be able to teach my daughters, to give them the same opportunities I would hope that people at our company have.
I think being a member of WOW helps you find people who are like you, who have a passion for similar things, maybe are going through some of the same struggles you are. It could be challenges on your job, or it could be, how do I get my personal brand out there?
It's an opportunity for employees to reach out and grab hold of so many different opportunities to make themselves better, to make their company better, and to make their world better.